So I'm going to start this video off by saying that whenever I make a video, I make them because God put something on my heart to talk about. And I'm not ever singling anybody out, or I'm not targeting a certain person or anything like that. I'm literally just talking about what God put on my heart to talk about. The thing is I don't even know who all watches my videos. I can see that I get, on average 300 to 500 views on my videos, but only a handful of people like or comment on them, which is fine. I'm good with that because I'm not here for the likes or the comments. I'm literally just here to talk about what God puts on my heart. But I almost made this video yesterday and then I changed my mind. But then in my Bible time this morning, one of my books that I work in, it talked about exactly what I was going to talk about yesterday. So that kind of confirmed for me that I should talk about it. So what I'm talking about is people that don't believe in God and Christians. The thing is, I have a lot of family and friends that don't believe in God. Some people don't believe in God just because they think that He's make believe and that the Bible is a fairy tale. Some of them don't believe because they wonder how good can God actually be if He allows bad things to happen to good innocent people. There's a lot of different reasons that people don't believe in God, and I get it. Even though I've always believed in God, there have been a lot of times throughout my life that I have questioned things about Him. I've questioned things about the Bible, so I get it. But God showed out in a really big way over the past 4 or 5 years of my life. As y'all know, He literally performed a miracle in my life and saved me during my heart surgery, and then He turned around and did another big miracle a couple years later and saved me from depression. And so I know that God is real without a doubt. I just know it. And it bothers me, that people don't believe, only because it's not that I'm judging them. It's just that it's out of like genuine concern, because I love people. I genuinely care about people. And that's why it concerns me. And the thing is I'm not sure that there's anything that I could say to convince somebody to believe in God if they don't. People don't like to be preached to typically, and I understand that. But what I do know is your actions speak loud and clear. I am going to read from Mark chapter 5, because this kind of describes it's a good way to describe like how I actually like full-hearted believed in God and about His healing. So chapter 5 verses 24 through 29 is what I'm going to read. So Jesus went with him. A large crowd followed and pressed around him. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak, because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately, her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. So that's pretty much what happened with me. Just God has been so good to me, and He's done so much for me, and that's pretty much it on that. What I want to turn to is how Christians act. I can tell you what made me really reluctant to go to church for the longest time is how other Christians act when they don't act like they're supposed to. I waited tables in my late teens, early 20s, and I worked Sundays. And, there were a lot of good people coming there from church, but on the other hand, there were also a lot of people coming straight from church to come eat there after church. And some of those people were really rude. They were very judgmental. They had an air about them, like they thought they were better than me because, they go to church and I'm waiting tables. They wouldn't tip. I could hear their conversations. I could hear them, saying ugly things about their fellow church members, like making fun of what somebody wore to church or gossiping about family members, things like that. And that kind of stuff, it just really turned me off, and really kept me from wanting to go to church for a really long time, because I didn't want to sit amongst hypocrites, basically. So You know, that the thing is if you don't have, if you're trying, our job is to try to bring people closer to God and help people believe in Jesus and help bring them to Christ. And it's really hard to do that if you're not demonstrating outwardly, the heart of Jesus. So um, the thing is, if you brag about going to church and you brag about being a Christian, then you should know, one of the first things that I was taught was the fruit of the Spirit, and that comes from Galatians 5, verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self control. So if you really are a Christian, a true Christian, then you're it should come from your heart. You can't just dress up and act the role and then not act like one. So I guess I'm calling fellow Christians to please be a good representative of Jesus, because your actions and what you do for other people and your kindness, all those things are going to convince non-believers more. That's going to be one of the big things that convinces people to come closer to God. So anyway, I just wanted to call my fellow Christians to be good, be kind, love everybody, don't look down on anybody. Everybody is equal in God's eyes, and everybody deserves love, whether they believe in God or not. Everybody matters. Everybody deserves love, and so be a good person and have a beautiful and blessed day.